This is a place.
This is a place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is a Place podcast. My name is Brandon.
My name's Nate.
We want to wish everyone Manatee Appreciation Day.
Oh, which is it? Finding Nemo 2? Is that what that is?
Is there a manatee in that movie?
Isn't it? What's his name from Modern Family? The guy that owns something here in Utah.
Is he a dolphin?
The bar. I thought he was a manatee.
Maybe. I've only seen that movie like once, which is
Oh.
probably one of the few Pixar movies I've only seen one time.
Really?
Finding Dory.
Finding Dory. Bailey.
Bailey is a whale. I'm sorry.
Is he?
He is. Beluga whale.
Oh.
I don't think there's a manatee. There is a Disneyland or a Disney World manatee. But I don't think they've ever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was a whale. Was there a manatee?
There's like a famous one. I've heard stories about it before, but I don't know. I don't know enough to say anything about it. Manatees are the cows of the sea, right? They seem pretty beloved. I really don't have an opinion either way, but I think they seem nice. They seem like cool creatures.
He seems like a nice guy.
They seem like a nice guy.
I'm sure there's got to be a cartoon that has a manatee as a character.
If there isn't, the question would be, why not yet? After all these years and nobody's ever done a manatee movie. Did you see that Reddit thing about the manatee?
No, I did not.
All right, this is worth sharing. I've lied to my son about manatees for the last 24 years. 24 years ago, my 6-year-old son got me a birthday present. It was a mug with a picture of a manatee on it. He got upset when I wasn't sufficiently thrilled with his gift. I assured him that I loved it, saying that manatees were my favorite animal in the whole wide world. Since then, manatee-themed items have been my default gift from him. Manatee shirts, manatee calendars, manatee beer steins, and so much more. 24 years of manatee items displayed proudly in my home. My confession is that manatees are not my favorite animal in the whole wide world. Never have been. I have nothing against them, and they seem like gentle creatures, but they hold no fascination for me. I only said I love manatees to soothe the feelings of my young son over 2 decades ago. Year after year, I rolled with the lie because it was harmless, and I was in too deep to tell him the truth. Now my deceptions have realized its zenith. Next year, I'm turning 55, and he is turning 30. For Christmas, my son has booked a trip for the two of us to go to Florida to see manatees. My son is so excited for this trip and is telling everyone in our family about it. Even my ex-wife is gushing about my trip to finally see the manatees. Of course, I am thrilled to spend time and have an adventure with my son. I am grateful for his thoughtfulness and love for his old man. We will have a lovely time together and make great memories, and I will continue the deception about the manatees, which are not my favorite animal in the whole wide world. So anyways, that was something that kind of blew up, got some recent internet fame. Everybody was talking about the manatees and his lie of loving manatees for 24 years.
Interesting.
Over time, do you don't think, and someone else made this point, that manatees would become his favorite after all the manatee stuff? Like, he just kind of would by default become your favorite? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't really have any opinions.
That's a question that doesn't get asked when we get older. It's a big question when you're a kid, very important question. But as you get older, people don't ask it anymore. Nate, what is your favorite animal?
I'll say this. Dogs are usually my favorite animal.
Okay.
Rottweiler used to be my favorite.
Really?
Yes, I love Rottweilers. But they are also very hit and miss on if they're dangerous or not.
Okay. Okay.
They used to be my favorite. I used to not love cats, and I'm coming around to being okay with cats.
Yeah. Because of your cat merchandise.
My cat merchandise and our cat, not cat that we have, cat that we borrow about every other day. Like it came in last night and it will jump up. I'm now its favorite. So it will jump on my lap and sit there for about 20 minutes, which is crazy because normally it wants to wander around and doesn't like to hold still. But I think it's a she. Will sit on my lap and let me pet it. And the other day it like fell asleep and my lap
Wow.
and just like so I'm like, huh, I'm slowly turning into a cat guy. I didn't think that would ever happen.
Hmm.
But I do love dogs. I love dogs. Dogs are fun. But dogs are a lot of work and you know that.
Yeah, they are.
So that's why I'm kind of more on the cat bandwagon just because they don't care if you're there or not. But I'll give you this cat, because it will sit on my porch and wait for us to come home sometimes. It does get like super excited like a dog when it
Really?
sees yeah, it knows my car now. And so it will start getting all excited and like doing the whole almost like a dog. Like it'll start turning around in circles and stuff, like, okay, let's go inside. But it maybe spends at max like 45 minutes in my house, and then it's like they'll go to the
Time
door
to
and be
go.
like, time to go.
I've done my
Yeah.
social obligation for
And
the day.
it's not consistent. Like I said, it's a few times a week, and sometimes it's every day for like a week, and then we think that she's gone away and she comes back, but
Hmm.
just whenever she wants
Do you feed
some
her?
attention, we do. I have a bag of cat food by the door, and that's usually sometimes like when it comes that I know now, I know the cat enough that when it certain cries that it's asking for food versus attention.
So maybe I missed it. How did this cat come to be? Is it just a neighborhood cat that kind of became a part of your family, or
Yeah, it wanders the neighborhood. My daughter outside all the time in the summer, and it has, I think it's name. Oh shoot, um,
you don't know the cat's name?
I just having a blank. I do know the cat's name. I'm having a whole blank. Why am I having a blank? But anyways, Poppy. Poppy's the cat's name, and in the tag, the collar says Poppy likes to wander the neighborhood, kind of like don't call the pound.
So it even has a collar that you've
Hmm.
given it.
And then and then I think the owners got it one of those tracking devices earlier in the year.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're not it has actual owners.
Yeah, yeah, has owners and a phone number to call. If so, that's why they put the collar on there because I think people kept calling the pound. I'm
Hmm.
assuming, but it says on the collar it says Poppy's the name, and like I like to wander, kind of like don't call the pound.
So
And
this family has no idea this cat is cheating on them with you?
no, yeah, like I said, it used to have a tracker. They put a tracker on it, and it was on there for like a month, and so it could tell that it was at my house for like 30 minutes if they were watching. But now just wanders the neighborhood all day, every day, and then I saw a bag of cat food. Actually, I bought some treats. Scarlett asked to buy some treats for it, and then it really started coming around. And then I'm like, ooh, this is actually genius because if we feed the cat, it's going to come back more often than not. Because before it was just like once in a blue moon. But once we started feeding it, it started coming by more often, obviously, because we gave it some treats. And now I have a bag of cat food I got on clearance, and so I'll give it like a pinch full of food when it comes over. And yeah, like we've had the bag of food for like a year. It's not even close to being gone. But Bronco's concerned that the cat isn't being treated well at home, and that's why it comes to our house all the time. And I'm like,
Maybe.
and then we're like, go home and eat, Poppy. So yeah, we hung out in the porch for a long time, and it never came in the house. It knew it wasn't supposed to come in the house, and then Bronco's allergic to animals, and one day I told him to pet Poppy because we're at home, and if he had an attack, then he'd be okay. And Bronco did it, didn't have an attack, and so we started letting Poppy into the house that day. So now Poppy expects to come in the home every
Hmm.
time. So every once in a while, she'll be outside. Again, I think it's a she. I don't know how you tell if a cat's a boy or a girl,
You
but
don't know how to tell
I
if
don't know.
you don't know how to look.
So, but sometimes it'll be out the door like at 6 a.m. in the morning. And if your kids are going to school, she gets pretty upset that we don't let her in the house. But we're like, we're leaving. We can't just leave you in the home.
Hmm.
So, yeah, we kind of have a cat without having a cat. It's the cheapest cat or pet you could ever have.
Yeah.
So, there you have it.
Nate's favorite animal is morphing into a cat.
It's got all my favorite characteristics. Don't have to care for it. It's cheap, inexpensive.
Yeah. Sounds like a
And
dream come true.
yeah,
Well, my point is we need to normalize finding out what people's favorite animal is because when you're in elementary school, it seems like a pretty big deal. And
really,
it
I don't
just
remember
it
that.
just doesn't happen when we're adults. People don't ask anymore.
Have you seen those videos of people like the one of the trends right now is how if you made friends as an adult compared to when you're like a 5 year old or an 8 year old, where you're just walking down the street and you're like, hey, cool shoes. Yeah, I can run real fast. So there's adults doing these videos of like, oh, making friends as if you're like an 8 year old. Another one like runs over, like going to go play with my friend as if I was 10. And she like runs over to a friend's house and the husband answers the door is like, can Sally come out for a glass of wine? Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah. Hey, honey, you want to go play with Jessica? Yeah. Anyways,
That's funny.
that's kind of a new trend, but yeah, you're right. We don't ask questions like we did when we were younger.
Mm-mm. Favorite colors, favorite
Favorite
animals,
color,
just
favorite animal.
it's not important. Mine's a hippo for the record. I've always been a fan of hippos.
Those will kill you, Brandon.
I know that I can't have one.
You don't want a hippopotamus for Christmas?
I mean, I do, but I know I can't. I
Isn't
think
there
it,
like more people killed by hippopotamuses every year compared to like a bear or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah. But I also really like bears too. I like bears and I like hippos. And you know what I really want? Like I feel like the idea of unconventional pets, the way the world is going, there's increasingly becoming signs that raccoons are at the point where they could be domesticated. I think a raccoon would be a cool pet. I think raccoons are so cool. That'd be a fun pet. A skunk would be a cool pet if you could take out their, you know, thingy, their skunk thing, makes them stink. Foxes would be a cool pet. All those kind of unconventional, cool little animals that are kind of pet-ish, but not pets.
Like a monkey would be hilarious.
Monkey would be, I feel like a monkey would be
Well, then I
problematic.
watched that movie a few months ago, and you don't want a monkey. It will kill your whole family.
What movie?
I don't remember where they have a
Was
is
it
it
Planet
chimpanzee?
of the Apes?
Mm-mm.
It's
Just this rich family, I think in Hawaii or
like a true
something. Maybe
story.
California. No, it's one of those horror movies or whatever.
Oh,
And
oh, the monkey. That
the
okay.
monkey one, I
It's like a
forget what it's
Stephen King
called.
story.
I don't kind of,
Okay. Hmm.
but yeah, but the monkey turns bad because they can be pretty strong. Primate was the name of the movie.
Oh, okay. So don't get a monkey.
But I did see, I think Nate Bargatze has a game show, and they're saying which uncommon animal would be a good household pet, and raccoon was the answer. Nobody picked it out of the other ones they had on the list,
Hmm.
but that was the survey said. And do you know that you can house train rabbits to be like cats? So they'll go in a litter box, and then you just have a rabbit running around your house all the time, like a cat.
Yeah, I had a rabbit growing up. That was my pet.
Did you really?
Yeah, and it went in a litter box. We didn't leave it out because we just didn't. I mean, we'd let her out and play all the time, but we wouldn't just let her live out about.
Just
But
wander the house like a cat.
yeah, yeah, but she did like had a dedicated litter box. She'd the only place she'd, go. But yeah, we let her play out in the backyard and stuff. It was a pretty good fun pet growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
How long did you have the rabbit?
Like
Tell me
10
about the
years.
rabbits, George.
I really think it was
Really?
like eight to 10 years. It was a long time.
Total tangent, but I made my daughter watch Of Mice and Men last weekend. John Malkovich, the newer one. Well, the most recent one, I should say. That's like
I don't
30
know if
years
I've
old
seen
now.
that one.
It's a rough movie to watch.
Oh
Like it's
yeah,
an emotionally tough movie to watch. So
definitely.
my daughter was pissed at me. As she's like bawling. She's like, "Why did you make me watch this?" So, uh, anyways, but he's always like, "Tell me about the rabbits, George. I got to watch the rabbits."
That's
Anyways,
traumatic.
yeah, you should watch it. So I told her to go watch it with all her friends one weekend. Tell them like, "Let's watch this really good
Just
movie."
yeah, let's just have this lighthearted film we're gonna watch
Yeah.
together.
But I feel like it was sometimes a lot of English classes would make you read the book.
I read it in English class.
Did you? So you know
Hmm.
the whole idea of the movie and
Yeah,
story. I asked somebody about it the other day that was like closer to my age and didn't even know what I was talking about. Like, you never heard of Mice and Men?
really.
But so then
Hmm.
it's really it's a tough one to get through with not
Yeah,
being
I
really
don't know
familiar.
why. I mean, they're considered classics, but in English classes they always make you read just the most horrible stories.
Yeah, the very
Like
like
Grapes of Wrath, that one's a tough one.
the most like what do you call it?
I wouldn't
Emotionally
say,
draining movies.
yeah, I wouldn't say like controversial because they're not. I don't know if any of them are like controversial. Maybe. But you've got like, dude, you probably did the same thing. Did you ever read like Tom Sawyer or Huck Finn in any of those books?
Mm-hmm.
When you were in school, did they make you read the word in class? Because they made us read the word. Like we didn't skip over the word. We said it when I was
Really?
in school.
That's what I thought was interesting too, watching Of Mice and Men. I think they say it a few times.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. But I also feel too, even when that movie came out, didn't have the meaning it has today. Like I feel the last 20 years, it's gotten worse and worse to say. Does that make sense at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's my point. Like when I was in elementary, not in elementary, it was probably junior high that we were doing it. But um, I mean, it used to be more okay, I guess. But just as the years have gone, it's become less of a
It's got, yeah,
yeah. It's a big no no.
yeah. Where now you can't even say it at all.
Yeah.
If that makes sense at all.
Well, while we're on the
So,
topic of favorites, do you have a favorite book that you read or in school or
like a required reading,
yeah, yeah, maybe like because my favorite required reading book was Gatsby. I love The Great Gatsby. I read that one. I was like, oh, this actually, I like this book. It's a good one, and I bought it and like read it after, even after being required to do so.
I no, I don't know if there's a book that I was like in love with. And a lot of times I read books and then I still have to read the cliff notes because I would read it, but I wasn't comprehending it because I was
Hmm.
just going through the motions. I did read a lot in like elementary school. There's a bunch of sports books. I forget the name of the author that had a bunch of books. Read a lot of Ramona Beasley movies. Is that what they were called? Ramona books when I
Uh,
was younger in elementary. So I read a lot of elementary school and then I got out of the habit like junior
okay.
high and high school. And I don't read fiction books as much. And I was thinking the other day that would be kind of fun to go read like a quick teen novel, even something like those sports books that I read back when I was younger.
So, like, what were these sports books?
They would every it was almost like I remember the Titans type story or Hoosiers type
Mm,
story. The guy just wrote a whole series of just like in every it would be anywhere from baseball, basketball, football. So just a fictional story of somebody underdog or something pulling through. So I wonder
okay.
if
Yeah, I don't think I ever read
I'd have to see if I could even find what I'm talking about. But I
Did
think
you
one of the books
read
called like the kid with the glass arm or something like that. It was weird. I don't.
okay. Did you ever read, and this probably merits an episode for us, The Great Brain Books?
I don't even know what that is.
They're I think it's based in Utah. All the books are based in Utah, but they're pretty, I mean, when I was growing up, they're pretty popular. The Great Brain. Yeah, that's one we got to do. I guess we're going to have to do a book club. You're going to have to read some books, Nate, for the purposes of the podcast.
All right, let's do it.
Great Brain books were pretty good. They're pretty good. Yeah, it's set in the small town of Adamville, Utah between 1896 and 1898. But they're pretty good from what I remember. I read those. I read the Hardy Boy books,
Yeah, a little bit of the Hardy Boys. I remember those.
Magic Treehouse. That was probably
Something with the
after
train
you.
cart. Train cart. This is
Ooh,
all elementary.
yeah.
The
I don't know.
box
Oh,
cart
okay,
children,
that sounds familiar. I
something
didn't
like
read
that.
those ones though.
I think I remember reading a couple of those, but everything else I only read because it was like required reading, and I didn't. And I think, and for a minute when I was in junior high, John Grisham, is that his name? The
Grisham.
the Grisham. I read like, and I read Jurassic Park. I remember reading Jurassic Park novel before
Okay.
the movie came out. I remember reading The Firm and another one of his books. And then something me and my older brother used to do is we would read, they would release like, say Back to the Future 2 came out and they had a book
Oh
about
yeah.
the movie.
Okay.
So I don't, yeah, which is always interesting because they'd always give different views that you don't get in the movie, or what the character was thinking, or stuff like that. So, but I've done that for a while. I even read like the Rocky books.
Of course you did.
I think that was seventh or eighth grade.
Yeah, I read a couple books like that. I remember reading like the Van Helsing book. I hadn't seen the movie, but I read the Van Helsing book.
Okay. And then I think I've told this before, but I tried a bunch of times to start reading the Harry Potter books in high school or whatever, maybe after my mission, and could never do it.
You just need to
I
have
read.
Becky read them to you at night.
That's right. I should try. I think a lot of people do the books on tape or whatever they call it, the Audible.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the
audiobooks.
way to do it. But I don't even listen to podcasts, so
It's gonna be
I
tough to
do
get you to
enjoy it.
listen to
I just
even
love music so much; it's hard to.
yeah. I need to get back more into music. I mean, I'm still into music, but I've been listening to way too much podcasts. I need to get more on the music train lately.
Just makes me happy. But I do love listening to podcasts when I do.
Yeah. Huh. Well,
Well, did we go off on a tangent far
you
enough to?
know what? I think this has become just a completely tangent episode with no purpose. We can call this since we're the last couple episodes we've had a Seinfeld quote. We can just call this a podcast about nothing.
Talk it's about nothing.
But I mean, the plan was we were supposed to have a podcast today about recapping the Bachelorette, but it got canceled. So
Crazy.
that was a pretty crazy thing to happen.
So I was a little confused because you sent me a text saying we should recap it, and I didn't realize that I didn't even know what's going on because I don't pay attention to it at all. So I thought maybe it already came out, and you're like, no, it hasn't happened yet. I'm like, okay. And then when you sent the news article, you immediately said never mind. So I thought maybe you meant never mind because they didn't cancel it. Does that make sense?
Oh,
And then I'm like, oh, you're saying never mind
never mind us doing the
doing it
series
for the podcast. So I thought you were, it was like maybe because you know sometimes they do breaking news and they find out that it wasn't real.
It was like leaked, but it wasn't actual.
Yeah. So I thought that's what you were saying. And then I'm like, so it really did get, because I thought there's no way that they could cancel
A whole
because
season of a show. I mean, there's been a lot. I mean,
by the time it releases, like it's over, right? They're done filming, right?
for the most part, at least, there might be like one or two episodes still, finishing things up. But yeah,
Because that's the rumor now of like who won or something like that.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. It's been a it was a crazy week in Utah related news. There was that. Well, just news in general. There was that happened, you had March Madness going on. I feel like there was some other big thing that happened. Chuck Norris dying. It was quite a week in pop culture. So, a fitting time for us to have a show about nothing. And also, I mean, today, the day that we are recording, is the 6 year anniversary of when we released our first three episodes. So it's kind of fitting we talk about some of our favorite things and just
Just,
chat for a bit.
just
People are getting to hear the conversation that usually happens before we record the episode because we'll tend to just have a whole tangent, a
or
whole
the
other episode.
20 minutes that you cut out of the episode because we got off
That
too
yeah,
far.
that too. But since we're confined to these Zoom limits because we're cheap and don't want to buy some kind of license, we tend to have two sessions, one where we talk and just kind of catch up for about a half hour, and then we switch over and do an actual episode. So you got a little bit of the
Behind the scenes.
behind the scenes, the episode that doesn't get released. So I guess that's what we're going with today. Yeah, I was really um I've watched The Bachelorette and The Bachelor before,
Yeah,
usually in
I'll bet
connection
I
with
have.
my spouse or whatever, girlfriend or whatever it may have been in the past, but I was really excited for this one.
Were you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just The Bachelor is already crazy, but you throw a character like that into it.
Well, that's what they were wanting. They were trying to spark new interest in it, and they
Oh, and it
wanted somebody
worked.
semi crazy, and didn't realize that she was fully crazy.
That's when you do
But
something
here's
like
the thing,
gamble
dude.
like
Like,
that.
I didn't know who she was or anything at all until the news broke about them canceling it, and then I saw the clip on whatever news station showing her
With the
throwing the
chair.
stool at her boyfriend.
So wait, you didn't even know who
But
she was prior to this?
mm-mm.
You
But
you
I
don't know,
thought when
your
I saw
wife
the
doesn't
picture,
watch the Real House or the Secret Lives or anything like that?
she does it in secret. She doesn't tell me.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That's her
I don't
secret
even know if
life
she
of
does that.
her Mormon life.
Maybe. I don't think she does. But I thought the girl secret lies woman, when I saw her picture, I was thinking, oh, she's like 42, 43, like closer to my age. And then they're like, oh, 31-year-old. I'm like,
Like, yeah,
30?
younger than
I'm
me.
like, she looks so old. Like, she's not aging well, in my opinion. So
Hmm.
sorry that that was mean, but I was shocked to hear how young she really was. And she does have crazy eyes. So
Oh,
not
yes.
surprised.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll ever get to see it. I
That's
mean,
what you were saying. They could they release it like on Hulu or something eventually, and
yeah, I mean, ABC is just like on the
or
amount of money they've lost on this
they're saying like
because,
closer to 50 plus million will
uh,
be lost.
yeah, because I mean, everybody was excited for it. It's probably a good thing because, it would have had that still that church. Maybe some people don't watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but you throw that on The Bachelor and like everybody's going to watch that. Probably good it didn't happen because of the
And
church
then everybody gets
implications.
their church facts from these ladies who don't even know
Yeah, exactly.
what a church is. So interesting.
It's probably for the best, but either way, I was excited about it. Trying to pull you into it to watch it and do a whole separate
Maybe I
recap
would have.
series.
We watched one season, I'm guessing 10 years ago, because there was a crazy girl. I think it was The Bachelor. And we saw one episode and we hated her so much. And so we just kept watching just to watch her fail. And then she ended up being the one he chose. So we watched the whole season just waiting for her to get kicked off and see her reaction when
Mm.
she gets kicked off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we are never watching this show again. That was a waste of time that I could have just been wasting talking about nothing with Brandon.
Well, we hope it wasn't a waste of time and you enjoyed this. We promise to get back to the hard hitting episodes. We've got a couple up our sleeves, right? A couple places to
I was
still.
gonna say we have quite a few places
We
that
have
we
quite a
visited
few.
and haven't talked about yet. So
Yeah. There's no shortage of episodes. We'll never run out of topics to whether that's good for you to hear or bad for you to hear. I don't know. But either way, let us know what your favorite color is. Let us know what your favorite animal is. Your favorite book you read in English class that traumatized you. Just tell us all the
and
things.
if you got some new shoes that you can run real fast in and jump real high,
We'll be
we'd
your
love to
friend.
see those. Well, we'll love to see those too.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the past 6 years, and here's to another 6. Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was nothing we just talked about.